Look at that, man. Wi-Fi's out.
Why does this keep happening to me?
For my dinner, this is round steak. It's been marinating in olive oil, garlic salt, I think, and vinegar for. So this is what it ended up doing. I just put the beef in the fried rice, and I just made beef fried rice. Alright, so it's like 5 in the morning, and I'm still awake as usual. Been trying to fall asleep for the last few hours, not working. Wi-Fi is still out. That sucks. School starts in about 4 days. Is it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday? Okay, so more than 4 days, but the syllabus is already out, and I wanted to get a head start on all the material, but
I'm ready! I'm ready! I'm ready!
I know where I'm going. Yo, I was not lying. Got that 10-piece. Got that large Cajun rice. I love Popeyes.
Get started!
Okay, I'm ready.
So I hate the way my facial hair grows in. I mean, if you could look at this, sorry for the close-up, but there's like no shape. It just grows in like this weird blob. So every time I try to manage this, it sucks because if I try to shape it up, it like grows out in like a day and a half. Or if I try to shave it totally, like I just don't look right. So what I have planned for today is that I have to get my books for school. I start classes on Tuesday, so that's a few days from now. My professors already gave out some assignments for class before the first day, which sucks, but you know, that's just what I bargained for when I knew I was going back to school. And alright, so I got my books, Once Upon a Time, and then classic fairy tales. So I know I have assignments already due. I've got to read these, and then I've got to be prepared to talk about them in class. They were missing one book in the bookstore, so I need to. I think I'm probably gonna go to like Barnes and Noble or like Half Price Books. Just try to get it on the cheap.
It's my favorite part. We see the lights that got so far.
What is up, guys? So I made it to the thrift. Hopefully they have like a denim jacket or like cool things that I can find, but oh, it's a medium. It's nice though. Alright, so it's 3 days before school. Got my books. I was actually trying to study in Starbucks, but it was way too loud. I'm not one of those people who can concentrate when there's too much going on around me. So I just got out of there. Then I went to Mariano's, and the crazy thing is, it was really quiet until some old lady, she had to, some senior citizen lady, she had to charge her phone right next to me. So I was like, fine, I'll move over. And then all of a sudden I hear like arguing. So she started an argument with another senior citizen from another table. So straight up just interrupted my study session. So it is now 12 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. I'm considering playing basketball tomorrow because that's probably the most exercise I have during the week. Yeah, but I think I'm starting to get sick. So I don't know if I should just rest or play basketball. I'm leaning towards basketball because I really want to play. Alright, so first class of summer school is over. Time to get some food at Seafood City. Let's go. Yo, so I have a good feeling about this professor. He seems super chill. And he's super nerdy about film, which is awesome because you kind of need that enthusiasm when you're in class. You know, it's a summer school, like each class is like 3.5 hours. So like, especially it's draining if you're going to be there for 2 classes in one day. You know, I'm going to be there. Pretty much most of my classes are in 1 day, 1 to 2 days. So it's like I'm there for like 7 hours. So you need that energy, you need that enthusiasm, and definitely I'm definitely feeding off of that because it's really cool that you know, that he's not making a subject that I'm already interested in boring. And you know, that's just like some teachers can do that. They can make a subject that, you know, you already have some initial interest in, and they can make it boring with their lack of enthusiasm. But I don't get that case with him. He's pretty cool. Like he just, you know, you could tell that he's really passionate about what he's teaching about, and that's pretty. Hell yeah, baby. Seafood City. Really hungry right now, so it's awesome to have like this right here, like real talk, like in Chicago, like there's Chinatown, there's like Mitsuwa, which is also like you know, like all the Japanese cultural foods and everything into one centralized location. And then there's also Vietnam Town, which is like on Argyle. So just to have like something like this, like Seafood City, where all the Filipino food and like all the cultural like aspects of it centralized in one location, is pretty awesome. And what's also really cool about this, and I can't emphasize this enough, is it's like 10 minutes away from my school. I'm rocking those gel lights today. So I got lumpia, which is basically egg rolls, and then baguette, which is lechon, which is basically like roasted pig, and then a couple scoops for rice. All right, so I just got done with my lunch, and amazing. I didn't want to film too much because I was too busy stuffing my mouth full of food and enjoying the food. But I will share something with you guys, and my favorite drink of all time is Thai iced tea, and they have them in cans. Holy shit. They have Thai iced tea in cans. And originally I thought, you know what, it's not going to be as good because it's in a freaking can. Like, there's no way it tastes as good as like in restaurants, which is true, but it still tastes pretty damn good. I mean, it's freaking Thai iced tea. I've never had a bad Thai iced tea in my life. So I bought 2 cans, and yeah, like, I'm probably gonna finish this before I go home. And then I got a few dessert snacks. So Red Ribbon is like a franchise bakery. Typically, like, you know, they make like Filipino cultural treats, I guess. I don't even know how to phrase that, cultural treats, but Filipino desserts, basically. So I got butter mamon, which is basically sponge cake, but it has like this buttery flavor to it. Sweet and really soft. Just amazing. Really good. And I'm getting all these treats because my last class for the day is going to be like 3 hours, so I need to get something, you know, because it's going to be during dinner hours. I got a ube mamon, which is basically ube is like, it's a purple yam. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's just like it's just like a vegetable, or I don't think it's a fruit. Maybe it is a fruit. I don't know what you consider a yam, but it's a yam that is purple, and it's ube flavored sponge cake. Really tasty. I love ube, and I love sponge cake. Really good. And then the last thing I got is this mango bar. So I went to Seafood City with my friends, like, I think it was 2 weeks ago. Not that it matters, but anyways, she told me about the mango bar, and I had never tried it before. So she piqued my interest, and yeah, I'm gonna try it out. I'm sure it tastes great, but you know, I'll let you guys know whether I like it or not. But I'm sure I'll love it. I love mango, and I love dessert and food and stuffing my mouth full of food. So yeah, that's it. Man, I got like 3 hours before I have to go back to my next class. You know, usually I'm the only Asian student in all of my English classes. So, like, I'm an English major, and you know, there's a wide array of like ethnicities and cultures in my class, but typically I'm the only Asian student in those classes. So I'm just thinking, like, oh, okay, so, like, you know, Asians aren't really drawn to like that particular major, maybe because, you know, parental pressures, or just things that they're not interested in. And, you know, I've always been interested in writing and reading, and you know, the creative aspects of like the creative industries, just so to speak. And so, like, it's not a bad thing that I'm the only one there. It does get kind of like, I guess, kind of lonely, because there's no one I could really culturally relate to. And all right, so the rain has let up enough so I could talk, because I was starting to speak over the rain. What I was saying, though, is that, you know, I'm not upset that I'm the only, for the most part, the only Asian in like most of my classes, just because it gives me this I guess it allows me to look at things from a different perspective. Usually from like, your culture influences a lot of things that you perceive. And, I'm able to look at it from an Asian perspective, so to speak. Whereas, a lot of the other kids who don't come from that cultural background, don't see it that way. So that gives me, I guess, an advantage at things. And also, one of my favorite writers of all time is Carlos Bulosan. And I think he was one of the only renowned Filipino writers, American Filipino writers. And when I did some more research, I couldn't really find any others. So I think as far as like being one of the only Asians like in my school, or I don't know if as far as like in my school, but in English majors, as far as I can see, and being Filipino at that, that gives me like, really gives me a lane to myself, like I have my own lane, and that opens up a lot of doors. I mean, that I'm thinking optimistically, that like Bulosan, he opened a lot of doors for myself, and opened my eyes as far as like writing your own story and making that making that important and making that essential to your writing, because you are that your story is as much of yourself as the rest of your identity is. So I think it's a good thing, that I'm one of the few Asians in, as far as I can see, in my English major. And hopefully that has changed, because I've been away from school for the last 2 years. So hopefully, I'm wrong, and I get to see like a few more students that have similar cultural backgrounds, such as myself, Asian backgrounds. And like that's not what I'm like usually looking for, like when I'm in class, like I don't really like, oh yeah, 1 or 2, I don't really count, like, but that's just an observation that I made. And I think that's pretty cool that, thinking about, I get to create my own lane because of my culture, and that's something to be really proud about, and gives me more motivation to study hard and to excel.